So I want to talk about one thing. Every couple days, but I get on here every day. But every couple days, I talk about something that I've seen about some terrible work from home tip, and it's been things like you absolutely have to get up and get dressed at a certain time and be at your desk on schedule. And if you wear grown-up clothes, then you'll get more done. And I've been saying for weeks that I think that's nonsense. I think that if you get up and you do a thing that you love, you get at your desk, you do something that you really care about, and when you do that, you will actually be able to enjoy your work. You'll be a momentum to be going. So one of the things that I've been seeing pop up all over the place in the last week are green screens. And I really do hate green screens. And here's why. I think, I wrote this whole book, Limitless, How to Ignore Everybody, Carve Your Own Path, and Live Your Best Life, around the idea that everybody else's idea of everyone else's version of success isn't going to be one that works for you. But I think that everyone else's idea of what your home office should look like shouldn't have to be the one that works for you either. So what if your office was a mess? What if your office showed books and awards and thank you notes and art from your kids and things that you cared about? What if your office actually showed who you were? What if your office just showed that you had piles of laundry and your house was in complete disarray right now because we're all in quarantine and our normal support systems and our normal schedules and our normal everything is totally abnormal? So I understand the idea. I understand the attraction of having a green screen where everything looks perfect behind you, but all of this, all of what we're doing right now is an exercise in compassion. It's an exercise in empathy. And rather than feeling like we have to show somebody that we're not, we can just show who we are. For 20 years, I did executive search and I sold consulting projects to my clients. And I used to, in the very beginning, I used to walk in and say, we have the best talent and we have the best researchers and we have, the smartest people and we can do all this work and here's the great, super clever way that we're doing it. And what I realized a few years into it was that we actually weren't in the business of selling talent. We weren't in the business of selling our database. We weren't in the business of selling our super clever way of doing our work. We were in the business of selling trust. We would walk into our clients' offices and we would say, this is who we are. This is what we do. I see you. I see your problem. And your problem is going to be my problem until your problem goes away. I needed them to trust us. I needed them to trust us that I had the solution to the problem that they might not even completely understand. So my job was not to sell the work that we did, it was to sell their trust in us. And so my issue with green screens is that I feel like it's hard to trust somebody who's not just as much of a disaster hot mess trying to keep together in this crazy, weird, unprecedented time. So yeah, if you need to get a green screen, get a green screen. Fine, that's cool. But also remember that this is this incredible opportunity to show a little bit about who you are and to maybe forge those relationships and build with each other compassion and empathy and understanding about, what we're all going through right now. So that's my diatribe about green screens for the day. Every day I like to share a couple things that are bringing me joy, that I'm enjoying. One of those things is my somebody that I'm friends with on Facebook posted one of those memes today that was like, your new name is whatever the last thing you ate was plus your high school mascot. So whatever the last thing you ate was plus your high school mascot. So my new name would be peanut butter puffin pioneers. I don't know. Another friend said it was cheeseburger raiders. I think that's much better. But I'm sort of curious. What would yours be? The very last thing you ate plus your high school mascot. Now, I don't know. I'm always that person who breaks the chain. Like when somebody tags you to do, push-ups or tags you to have 10 people that you'd want on a desert island with you or whatever it is. I never forward those things, but I thought that was pretty cute. And I do think the idea that I'm now going to be known as peanut butter puffin pioneers is, it's kind of funny. So yeah, oh, cake falcon, that's a good one. I'd like to be the cake falcon. There'd have to be like a sound to that, like wah! Or something, right? Like a falcon has to make like a scary one. But I don't, like, I've eaten in a lot of fancy restaurants in my life, and I've had a lot of really good food, but there is nothing ever as good as supermarket sheet cake. You know, that like really nasty, like yellow cake with the white icing, and the icing is like so sugary and granular that you can like feel the sugar in your teeth. Man, I'd be like a sheet cake falcon. I'm gonna be a cake falcon. So that's one of the things that that is super random that I've enjoyed. Y'all know I've been talking a lot about clean poop because I'm like weirdly obsessed with it. My friend Cherie Dunwell posted the funniest fucking video I've ever seen in my life of her singing about pooping in this time of quarantine. I'm going to play it for you because it's amazing. Here we go. Let's see. I'm hiding from a COVID. I look like a pile of horse shit. While I'm on the subject, I'm singing on the toilet. I mean, that's amazing. I think it's great. I think it's hilarious. Talk about being real, right? There's no green screen in her toilet. I think it's amazing. I love this moment for no other reason, because there are not a lot of reasons to love it, that we are actually getting to see each other and really like fly our freak flags in the way that are just, it's so welcome. It's so great. I love all of the hearts and love for Cherie. That's so amazing. Cherie Dunwell. Okay, so that's what has been giving me humor. I will tell you what's giving me energy. So, as a lot of you know, I've been working on this online course to go along with the book, Limitless, and I finally launched it last week, or rather Saturday, to a small group of 150 users that are like my beta group that are trying it out. So that's been really good, but also it's been a little frustrating for me because it was both on the one hand giving me like a rudder. It was giving me a beacon. It was giving me something to work towards. But then Friday comes along and everything, like we had been moving at just unbelievable speed. So getting the course film, getting this beautiful this is my workbook that's here, right? Beautiful workbook that we were trying to put together. Getting the online software built, all the things that we had to do, and everything. We were moving faster than you could possibly imagine, and it was so great. And then Friday we were supposed to have it ready, the page where it was going to launch, and then we couldn't get the technology together, and we just weren't able to get it out on Friday. And I got really sad, and I got sad in a way that was kind of outsized and stupid and not really appropriate to doing this course in the middle of this giant, horrible crisis. But it was right about the time where the dog stopped eating and she started vomiting, and I kind of hit a wall. And so I've been coming on here every morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, and I've been like telling you guys about the stuff that has energized me, the things that I've been enjoying, the work that I've been doing, the tips that I have from my 20 years of working at home, and for what on just Friday, I just hit that wall, and I couldn't do anything else, and that's when the exhaustion hit me. That's when the anxiety hit me. That's when the trauma hit me. So Saturday morning, we wake up. The dog hasn't eaten in 24 hours. She's still vomiting. I'm texting with my vet. Finally, he says, take her to the ER. So we take her to the ER and we drop her off. I told you, full PPE, the mask, the shield. And it was scary in a way where I felt totally safe. I felt like my family was totally safe. I felt like the dog was totally safe. I felt like the vets were totally safe. But it was like, it just kind of hit me. It just kind of like dropped on my shoulders. And I had brought my 15-year-old with me who was, desperate to get out of the house because he hasn't been out of the house in 2 weeks. And he came with me to keep me company. It was very sweet. And on the drive home, I missed the exit on the highway. And there are some exits that are like only a mile or 2 miles from the next exit. No, this exit was 10 miles to the next one. So we had a lot of extra time together. So we drove to those 10 miles. We turned around, we drove back to get right back on the highway again, going the right way. And I missed the exit again. I swear to God, I missed the exit twice. The same fucking exit twice. Ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. So we were in the car for 40 extra minutes on a drive that should have been 18 minutes long. And it was because my brain just kind of stopped working. Like the details of those little bits kind of stopped working. And I came home and I told my husband about this and he was like, wait, let me get this straight. And he kind of tried to like keep walking me through like how I could make the same mistake twice because he didn't understand that somebody who's normally a fairly competent human being could not drive home with GPS on a drive that she's done a number of times because, as already mentioned, the dog's had 3 surgeries. We've been to this hospital a bunch. I made the mistake twice. So I was telling him the story and I said, it's kind of like after the marathon bombing. I live in Boston. In 2013, we had, a domestic terrorist event at our marathon where 4 people were killed and hundreds of others were injured. And I was involved with the marathon. So I knew a lot of people who were deeply involved. I'd run the year before. I had a lot of friends that we couldn't find for hours afterwards. I was taking care of a friend at mile 21 who I'd been running with. It was a traumatizing experience. And I thought I was fine because I wasn't affected. I had friends of friends that were affected, but I didn't have friends that were affected. I thought it was fine. Like, we're lucky we got through it. Same with COVID-19 right now. Knock on wood, my family in my house is healthy. My family outside of my house is healthy. Like, we're fine. Like, I'm living in a beautiful house. I have a business that is in flames right now, but I know that I can resuscitate. Like, I'm going to be fine. So there's this idea that we're fine. It's not really affecting me. I was fine after the marathon. It wasn't really affecting me. But then I went to the bank about a week after the marathon bombing happened, and I put my card in the ATM and I just stared at the pin pad. And I couldn't remember my ATM number. I couldn't remember my PIN number. It was the same PIN that I'd had for 15 years. Could not remember the number. And I thought, oh, that's weird. I'm just tired. Took my card back, went home, figured I'd go the next day. Went the next day, put the ATM card in, looked at the PIN pad, couldn't remember the number. And I did this every day for a week until finally I went inside of the bank and I said, I don't know what happened. I can't remember my PIN number. And they did their little research. They gave me my number. And I'm like, oh, did you just assign me a new number? Because the number looked completely different. I did not recognize it. It was not even remotely familiar. And then they said, no, this is your same number. It's the number you've always had. Like, I did not remember it. And weeks later, months later, even now, I go to the ATM and I go to put my PIN number in and I'm like, it's so funny that I can't remember my number. And as I'm telling my husband the story last night about missing the exit on the highway, I'm like, it's like after the marathon bombing where I couldn't remember my PIN number. And he looked at me and he was like, what's your PIN number? And I don't remember it. Like, it's gone again. It's like there is that thing that's happening where even if you think you're fine during all of that's happening with COVID-19 right now, you may not be. And so there may be this residual trauma that we're building up inside of us. So I think that's the message for today is like, listen to how you're feeling. I just had this incredible conversation with my friend Rahaf Harfouche, who wrote Hustle and Float along with a number of other books, but that's her most recent one. And we were having this conversation from her home outside of Paris, my home outside of Boston, about even though we're feeling mostly fine. We know that there's this like, there's the storm. There's a storm that's there, and where the energy that it's taking to like hold that storm at bay is still, it's still exhausting. It's still there. It's still traumatic. So I just, I guess today's message is like, listen to how you're feeling. Try to just be real with who you are right now, and respect that there are going to be days where you are super fired up and you're channeling your mania into all sorts of productivity. And there are going to be days where, like, no matter what, there's that wall and there is nothing you can do about it. And I think we take it day by day. I think that's it. I think we just go where we are. You know, Arthur Ashe has this great quote, which is, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. And that's what I'm going to do today. I see Claire right now saying today she just needs a nap. Yeah, awesome. Take that nap. Have that nap. I think I'm going to have that nap. This morning I woke up and I thought I felt really great, and I got on my rowing machine to work out, and I got 3 minutes into it and I was like, nope. It ain't happening today. It ain't happening today. So, yeah, I got on my call with Rahaf, and I got energized by it, and I feel much better. And I just think there are things that we need every day, and there are things that we don't. And the things that we need are the things that energize us, the people that we love, the food that nourishes us. The things that we don't need are, you know, checking out all of, you know, the news nonstop, every day, all day. It's not changing. It's bad. It sucks. Stay inside. That's it. There, I've summarized the news for you. It sucks. Stay inside. That's it. So yeah, that's it. That's it for me today. Try to be real. Really enjoy your opportunity to actually get to see your friends and your coworkers for who they are, all the stuff that's around them. Ask them questions like, you know, why do you have this random hammer? And what's that, you know, box with the thank you notes? And, you know, I don't know, tell me about some of the books on your shelves. What's the little swear jar that you have there? There's all sorts of stuff. By the way, this, it says, I could really use some good old-fashioned motivation right about now. So I don't know, maybe that gives you a little bit of motivation. But see your friends. See them, like really see them, really listen to them, really hear them, have some empathy, practice some compassion. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. That's all. Bye, guys. Have a great day.